Hello, everyone. Welcome to EUphoria and my playthrough of Darling You're a Haunted House. This is for Black History Month over here on EUphoria. I'm Ren, and I'll be playing this game that's been designed by Finley Joseph, who's also a person of color, a Black creative of color. I am a Black non-binary creative, currently wearing a very voluminous curly black wig. I have blue contacts in my eyes and white paint in a kind of smoky, drippy fashion down my face in order to embody a spooky vibe. I'm also wearing a black vest and a white shirt beneath. Darling You're a Haunted House is a solo role-playing game about being scary inside and out, yet being cherished despite your spookiness. So as this is a horror game, there might be some content that's on the spookier side. All of the content warnings will be listed below, along with Euphoria's socials. Please go have a look at those while you're available to watch this playthrough. So, what is this game? Darling You're a Haunted House, as I said, is a solo role-playing game powered by the Second Guest system, designed for the one-page RPG Jam in 2023. And this was held on itch. So it's a game about embodying a haunted house. I am said haunted house, and exploring your place in the community and existing as your best spooky self. So I'm going to be rolling a die, multiple die actually, and increasing or decreasing my spooky reputation as this game goes on as I follow through some prompts. So, in order to play, I have a little journal that you can see beside me here that's going to be documenting our little journey together, a 20-sided die, and a d6. I have some nice pretty die that I have prepared for this today. I hope you enjoyed them as much as I enjoyed them. So, let's start with creating the haunted house. I already kind of have a little bit of an idea, but the first question is, what kind of building am I? Now, as I live in the UK currently, there are a lot of Victorian era homes that I seen and live in parts of. And so I'm going to be a semi-detached Victorian home at the end of a row of terrace houses. So semi-detached. Victorian home. I'm realizing now I have to spell. This is going to go swell. So, I am a semi-detached Victorian home. How many bedrooms would I like? I think maybe 4 is nice. 4 bedrooms. I like to think there's once a large family inside. It would have been quite 1.5 baths. Bathrooms. 1.5 bathrooms. I like to think there was a study, maybe not filled with books, but filled with someone who enjoyed them. There was a living room with broad windows. I keep saying is. I am still here. There is a living room that once held a lot of light and laughter, but there's only so much I can do about dust in these times. The carpeting has been changed since then, but the size of the room is still the same. And the kitchen, oh, the kitchen. They've done so many things to the kitchen over the years. It barely looks how it used to, but I think you can still tell from the way that the shelving is. You can't get lost in the past too much, but I have large windows. A study. The living room once filled with laughter and an eternally changing kitchen. When was I built? I was built in the good year of our Lord 1856. I have been here for a minute, which is why the kitchen keeps changing. I'm very stuck on the kitchen, honestly. Everyone wants it more modern, and the counters keep getting sleeker and shinier, and it's honestly disturbing. Are there any superstitions about me, and are they true? Well, superstitions are just rumors, and I suppose a house can be like a person, and any person gets rumors about them even when they don't necessarily deserve it, but there are superstitions about me. There is a mirror in the grand hallway. In its place once stood a very old clock. But, vanity supersedes time, I guess. But it is said that if you stand with your back turned to that mirror and you take a few steps backward and you turn, your back will still face you. It's not exactly true, but it's fun to see the children try and get scared. You're in the hallway. It is said what is your cause for being haunted? Now, it is with great chagrin that I say that I am haunted not by the ghost of a wailing young woman or anything of the sort. There was once a pet, a cat called Marbles, that the first family loved so dearly that when it passed, it decided to stay. And it is sometimes funny because the people that come here and try to hunt for ghosts sometimes end up seeing things pushed off of shelves and get scratched, and they cry and they scream and think it's a demon, and it's just Marbles. It's just Marbles. Being a cat that no one can see, it's just Marbles. But we love her nonetheless. Now, having established the what and the why, we can move on to the actual game. So, to actually play this game, as I mentioned in the beginning, I'm going to be rolling a 20-sided die, and this is going to correspond to a list of prompts that Finley has provided for us. I will speak, journal, talk about the prompt, make up something, and hopefully we'll find something interesting along the way. I will continue to do this. I will continue to do this until I hit the same number more than once, and then I will roll on a 6-sided die, and if I roll greater than my reputation, as I said, my reputation can go up or down depending on some of these prompts, then the game will end, and we'll find out who we have become since we have started. So, we start with a reputation of 3, and now, with my first roll, I have a natural 20? Oh, goodness. The pep talk works, I suppose. So, a rare protected animal species moves into one of your vast rooms. Describe the critter and how you feel about the spotlight given due to the nature of this event. And I lose 1 reputation because a cuddly creature now lives in my rooms. Wonderful. Wonderful. All right. So, let's see. What rare protected creature could have moved? It would have to be something that crawls in order to get inside. Possibly... or perhaps it is a rare species of stoat. And now there's a family of stoats living in... what room? Should it be one of the children's bedrooms? I think that would be cute. I mean, it hasn't held a child in it for a very long time, but I suppose kits are considered children in a way. So, a rare species of spotted stoat has now moved into one of the children's bedrooms. And while I do not mind having people come in and out to document this rare event, they're speaking in... it's like I'm hardly there. They're more interested in what's inside, and that hasn't happened in a moment. Not that I am one given to much vanity, but I would like some acknowledgement. I mean, they did choose me. That must be for a reason. I suppose I'm a bit annoyed, not at the stoats, but at the people, and people are easy to be annoyed at. So, now I've lost 1 reputation. I shall continue to roll. I'll leave the stoats alone. I'll keep marbles away as much as I can. We have now 14. So, 14 on the list of prompts. Describe my strangest room. Ooh. I suppose my strangest room is one that is barely a part of me but still connected, and it is the atrium. My original occupants were attempting to create some sort of greenhouse, but they were attempting to do it a floor up, so it sort of just bulges out of the side of the upper floor into the back garden. It hovers just above, and it is mostly glass. Some of it has broken over the years, and I have worked hard to keep some of it broken, because why wouldn't you just plant it in the ground? The ground is lush, the ground is nice, and the ground is where plants are meant to be, not up in the air. I cannot understand people still. It exists, and they haven't tried to tear it down like they have some of the other rooms, so I suppose I can't hate it that much. And now, prompt. All right, we have now a 9. So, moving on to prompt 9. A painting of you is hung in a local gallery. Who painted it and why? Oh. Now, what was her name? It was not my original occupants, not even their children, but one of their granddaughters. I don't know how I recognized her. Maybe it's something in the eyes or the face or the way that she carried herself, but I knew that she was of me in a way, in the way that you are of a distant relative, a second or third cousin, the same but not exactly. She didn't venture far inside, maybe only to see if anything else had moved in since the Stokes. Nothing yet. But she set up a little what is the word? Canvas. She set up a little canvas, and she sat on the grasses in front, and she began to paint, and it was quaint. I am used to people looking at me differently. It wasn't with disdain or fear, thinking I'm an eyesore. It was thoughtful. Maybe concerned, I'm not sure. I think parts of me felt a bit shy. I mean, my windows, as I have mentioned, are dusty. And my curtains haven't been changed in many years. They hardly flutter anymore. And, you know, my wood sidings could use a bit of, shaping up. But she didn't seem concerned. And I suppose I'm grateful that I exist in other places than here. A 12. So, one of the many pieces of mail that have been accumulating over the years is opened. What is discovered? When my owner's granddaughter was still here, when she stepped inside for just a moment, I mean, there had been an accumulation that it's honestly not my fault. I mean, tenants come and tenants go, and tenants change the place that they live. I can't change as much, but we must love the Postal Service. They are a constant visitor. And so, what is discovered? I think it is discovered that the lease on the land is running out. I think they want me torn down. I think she disagrees. I think I'm grateful again. $17. Unfortunately, I think in her efforts to prevent me being torn down, she's placed me under new estate agents, and now changes are being made. I regret seeing that girl. Honestly, I wish. Well, I suppose I don't know how to feel. I mean, most of what they're doing is painting, but the paint feels different to what was used on me originally. And my brickwork is being fixed and adjusted, and it's like pricks all over my outside, and I don't mind the windows having a wipe down. I can see, and inside you can see me, and I don't think that that's so terrible. I mean, I think I look nice inside anyway. But they're mending the windows on the atrium, and I think that they should, if they're going to take something apart, they should just make that side of me flat. I would like to be even all around, mostly. I suppose beggars can't be choosers. I don't consider myself much of a beggar. Maybe the changes would be good for me, though my reputation as being terrifying has suffered as a result. Maybe that's not such a bad thing. $6. While the renovations are occurring, I think I think some of the locals are interested in seeing what might have been here. And so a ghost hunt is organized on my grounds. I mean, I could let Marbles just have her way with them, but I feel like that would be... Maybe that might be funny, actually. And Marbles has been very good about the stoats, so maybe it might be worthwhile to give her a bit of a reward and let her just antagonize a few 20-somethings. They'll get over it, honestly. So, I think I feel amused, and I think I let Marbles do what she does best and just be a cat. I suppose she's missed interactions as much as I have. Even though they trudge mud into my antechamber, honestly, people are just the worst sometimes. You're not children. You can clean your shoes off before you step into my... I should let her scratch their faces, honestly. I should just let her do the worst. My reputation increases as the sleuths get a very nice taste of marbles and all of her antics. And it is possible that something is in fact haunting this place. Oh, what a shock. What a surprise. All right. A 3. A historical artifact has been found on the property. This brings people flocking to see you. What was the artifact, and do you know how it got there? No. I mean, I'm not one to brag or boast or consider myself much of an antique stealer, but I don't really see what the fuss is about this little thing. I mean, I do know what it is. It is a telescope that belongs not to my original owners, but to the father's father, who was in fact a sailor and did travel around the world bringing back various antiquities for his beloved son. This only came into his possession after the father's passing, and it was in fact stolen by one of the groundskeepers and hidden away for a later time, but the later time never came, so I've just held it within my walls. I didn't think it was worth much value, but they seem to be making such a fuss. They make such a fuss about everything. I suppose they see time differently than me. I still feel as if it was only yesterday, but I suppose many years have passed since yesterday. My reputation increases. I think they're seeing a bit of value in me, as they should. I am a very valuable member of this community. We're back where we started at 3. Okay. A 1. A particularly vicious storm rolls in overnight. How do you stand against the weather? I suppose part of me is grateful that the rains have kept people at bay. They've mounted this telescope in my study, and it is a good place for it, but the foot traffic, the absolute terror of the foot traffic upon my floorboards is just, it's almost an insult. The storm. I will admit, maybe some renovations are not completely wrong, and I could perhaps do with some reinforcements. I suppose repairing the antechamber and the atrium and the windows are going to get dirty again, but I can't do anything about that. I stand well. The water doesn't much get inside. They hadn't finished fixing the roofing yet, but it's not terrible. I mean, there's stoats and marbles and now telescope, and I have people here now and then, and I think I would like to stay and have more people. And so I brace myself as much as I can and withstand, though I do suffer wayward branches, wayward. I know I spoke about keeping plants in the ground, but when the wind breaks off branches and the branches smash into your attic, it's not optimal, but I am standing. And hopefully I will continue standing. At least it hasn't flooded. Next roll. A 5. Landscapers are hired to make the land you sit on less unsightly. What changes are made? It's not my fault the storm blew down the fencing in the back. It's not my fault it ripped up what little petunias were left. Now the tires that people have been leaving in the back garden, that is also not my fault. And it could do with fixing. And so I am appreciative. Workmen do a good job. I'm trying not to be frustrated. There was a lovely little flower patch that had been occurring for several years, and in the summers and springs, and the birds and the flowers, they would come, and the bees would, and it's gone. And it's not their fault. But I don't have proper owners, and they just wish to make the garden grass. And while that is not terrible, I don't have that many bright things, and I enjoyed having the flowers. I'm sure with these changes, though, that owners will come upon me and they will see the value of a garden. And my reputation decreases being scary. $16. What is your fondest memory? Hydrate, don't hydrate. What is your fondest memory? My fondest memory. There was a flurry of activity. The original owner's wife, she was with a child and had been with child for some time, and now it was time for the child to be out of her and a part of this world. And it was in the upstairs bedroom. I got to witness it. I had only been for maybe 5 years in existence, and I got to see it. Was a great screaming. I will admit it was a great screaming, but at the end of it, another screaming, smaller and gentler, and the affection, the love, the embracing, everything that came after that first moment, that first breath, that first small cry. I am wood panel and glass and fixture and carving, and I cannot have a child, but they are a part of me. They felt like they were mine. Let's move on. Eight. What is 8 now? Some young adults break in and perform a seance. Who or what do they contact? My reputation will increase. Now, oh, wrong direction. I wish that people would come to understand that there is more to this life than what is in the mundane world that they live in. And while I am gleefully, wonderfully happy to be haunted by just a cat, you shouldn't open some doors. And most of them do it wrong. In fact, all of them have done it wrong until now. But marble scatters. Oh, that's a funny phrase I didn't think of. It kind of lessens the impact of what they did. And that's not to say that they reached into some dark, devilish place and pulled a demon from the depths or anything like that. But some dead should stay dead, and maybe the person that you want to speak to doesn't want to be spoken to. And the voice that comes through is feminine, and it is upset at being disturbed, and it is not mine, and it is not Marble's, and I don't want to think about who it could have been. There have been so many that have lived in here since. But she is disturbed, and the young adults are disturbed, and I don't think it was a good experience for any of us involved, to be honest. But they reached through. And I think they had questions, but she just started screaming. Perhaps opening that kind of door hurts. It's not for me to say. I'm just a house, aren't I? My doors and my hinges are just wood. Mostly. Wood and metal and small bits of rust. 11. What is a secret left behind by your original occupants? They wrote a letter. It was a letter meant not necessarily for anyone to read. Maybe it was a letter for them to read later, and they, as people do, hide things away and forget they existed. They put it beneath one of their floorboards, and things have come to rest over that floorboard since, and it's not particularly, it doesn't stand out in any way. They've put carpet over it. No one's bothered to dig. I like to think I would remember the contents of the letter, but the specifics elude me. I remember the tone of it. It was hopeful, I think. Maybe it was hope for the future. Maybe it was hope for their children. I'm not sure. But they wrote it together. They put it away together. And now I'm the only one that knows it's there. It's the kind of letter I wish someone would open so I could remember. Two. Did I do two already? Let me see. Oh no, I haven't done two. Someone takes to hiding within your walls for a few days, finding peace and safety within you. But what are they hiding from? I've known people to run away. I have seen them from time to time. Most pass through. I don't mind so much. It's been harder since the Stoats. And since the telescope. But they moved the telescope to a museum, and the Stoats are only here for a season, so there is quiet in between. This young man, though, I'm not sure if I should call him a young man. I suppose everyone is young to me now. But he's not like the contracted. He doesn't try to tear things off and replace it with new things. And it's not terribly obtrusive. I don't mind his presence, I just don't understand it. Not many are willing to stay here with me, apart from Marbles and the Stoats. I tried to shelter him. It rains on occasion, but they've done a good job with the roofing since the storm, so it's not terrible. He seems to enjoy the attic in particular. Maybe it's the circular window. You can see above most of the houses from here. I remember the younger two children, they used to play up there with their little swords. I am losing track of time. I think he enjoys looking out because he's looking to see if someone is coming. He doesn't appear hurt, but you can be hurt in places that people can't see. And sometimes he cries. And it's in those moments I wish I had arms. Something that I could hold with. That he would know he is not alone. I don't think he's hiding from a person. I don't think his safety is threatened. I think he's running from something that he doesn't want to do. And I don't know how to comfort him. Before I can find a way, he leaves. Stories are often like that with me. I don't get to see their ending many times. But I hope he was able to choose. We all go forward. 15. Creeping plants climb up your walls, burrowing into the brickwork. Do they hold you together or rip you apart? These plants are not unfamiliar to me. Some of them have been with me almost since about 20 years after my beginning. Some enjoyed the look of them. I think when my creator's granddaughter came to make that painting, she took an angle of them. I haven't seen the painting myself, but I can imagine. They burrow between crevices. Tiny little tendrils just snaking their way in between spaces or creating spaces where there weren't before. I imagine it's like a hug, but a hug that someone digs their nails in to keep you. I think at this point we can't much survive without each other. They haven't gone that far into the repairs yet. I'm not sure if I want them to. We work well. And it's a nice embrace, I think. Brr. $17. Right, so under new management, the estate agents, what changes are being made? Some don't appreciate the vines as much as I do. I think they considered leaving them for aesthetics. Some people, as I've said, enjoy that look. The estate agents don't. They want to fix what the vines have worn apart. They begin to take them away. My brickwork becomes sturdier. I don't know if I appreciate the cost. So, since I have rolled the same number twice, I now have to, I have to actually remove one of my reputations first because that makes me prettier and less intimidating. So now I'm going to roll a d6, and if it is equal to or greater than 2, which is my current reputation, the game will end, and we'll find out what happens after the fact. If I manage to somehow roll a 1, the game will continue. So let's see. Unlikelier things have happened, but I have rolled a 5, so now the questions to ask: am I a peaceful staple of the community, a site full of supernatural activity for ghost hunting fanatics, or perhaps do I let in new long-term occupants? I think under the guidance of my original owner's grandchildren, perhaps, as more come to oversee the renovations, I become healthier, in a sense. I don't think I was as entertaining as it is, much cut out to scare children. I'm much too fond of them, and I become more like I once was. They change some of my insides. Maybe I don't agree with all of it, but time has passed and people prefer different things than they used to. I think they have a hope of letting someone live here, and eventually keys change hands and new people come, and they are not of kin to me yet, but maybe they could be. Maybe I can start again. I will try to keep marbles at bay for their sake. I think I might like them. So, that has been my playthrough of Darling, You're a Haunted House. I hope everyone has enjoyed the little adventure we went on with my little semi-detached Victorian home. Once again, this has been for EUphoria's Black History Month. All of their socials will be linked down below. Please go and check them out when you have time. I have been Ren. You can find me at Allegory of Death on Twitter. And yeah, it's been fun. I got a little emotional. I hope everyone enjoyed themselves, and I will see you around. Goodbye.